right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Hello and welcome into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I am your host tonight, Cassidy Wood. Guys, what an electric game of hockey we had last night. I don't know about you, but I was on the edge of my seat that entire time. I had no issue with it going into overtime. I wanted to watch as much of that game as we were blessed with. Just so exhilarating tonight. I'm joined alongside Jason Mackey. Jace, what'd you make of that game last night?
I thought it was electric, Cassidy. I loved every minute of it. I can't wait for this to happen again, whether it's in the Olympics. I mean, it'll be in the Olympics, but I hope this event sticks around for good. I want to see the tournament grow. I want to be mad that the Americans didn't win, but I'm happy for Sidney Crosby. I don't know how you can't be, seeing all the success that he's had. He deserves everything that's good that comes to him. I mean, I understand the storyline about passing the torch to Connor McDavid, but I don't think Sid's anywhere near done yet. I guess it just gets me really excited for the Olympics, Cassidy. I think it's going to be an even better time when you have a full tournament.
Yeah, so much emotion leading up to this game. I think a lot of us just felt that patriotism, and especially after that first game when 3 fights broke out, I think it was in the first 9 seconds. I think a lot of people were anticipating this one to be, another one like that. It wasn't quite so many fights, but we got some extra free hockey, which was so much fun to watch. And yeah, kind of unfortunate, Canada came out on top, but man, just such an exciting game. And Canada, honestly, they are known for hockey, and I don't know too many Canadians that would be too happy if they were to lose that game. I mean, hockey is kind of their sport, so, it was good for them. But, yeah, just such an electric tournament, and I'm really excited to see how it will grow in the coming years. I can't believe this was the inaugural one. Hopefully, maybe Russia can get in there, too. Maybe we could see Ovi in there, but we'll see. And then Mike Sullivan, obviously the head coach of USA, kind of weird too. They have to flip the script so quick like this. I mean, he got back to Pittsburgh today and now has to coach against the #1 team in the division tomorrow.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see that Mike Sullivan made it to practice today. I'll be curious to see what happens to Sidney Crosby tomorrow, whether he plays. I wouldn't have any problem with him sitting this one out. I already got an email from an angry season ticket holder. They weren't happy about even floating that suggestion. But you know what? It is a tight turnaround. And for guys that suffered injuries, and, I don't begrudge Crosby the opportunity to play for his team. If it takes him a game out of what I think is largely a lost Penguins season, I'm okay with it. But it is a tight turnaround, and I'm surprised the NHL is doing it that way for the 2 championship teams, having to send guys back to their NHL clubs so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, such a quick turnaround. And I think a lot of fans, too, were kind of anticipating seeing Sid go up against Ovi and seeing that matchup, tomorrow afternoon, I guess, 3 o'clock puck drop. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I do want to mention, too, we lost a great this week in Mike Lang, and they will be honoring him before the game tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Jace, just giving you a chance if you want to say anything about him or maybe about what the Pens are doing tomorrow to honor him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're doing to honor him. I know what I want to see them do. One thing I know Mikey would not want is some sort of morose, boring, quiet moment of silence, this depressed building. I don't think Mike would want to be the reason that the air is taken out of the building. So I think the Penguins are going to get creative in some way there. What Mike meant personally to me was a ton. I was on the Penguins beat from 14 to 19. And I kind of grew up on that beat. I grew up around Mike Lang. The first time I ever walked past him, I was too shy and too scared to say anything to him. And then over the years, talked to him more, earned his respect, and I knew that he read my work. It meant the world to me. One time in Montreal, Mike made a comment to me about, kind of belonging and being worthy to be on the beat, at the Post-Gazette, where Dave Molinari has been in the Hall of Fame and is the best to ever do it in this city. So, I mean, to have Mikey feel like I was even okay at my job just meant the world to me. I have the highest opinion of Mike Lang.
Yeah, and it's, this industry is so tough too that we're in, and a lot of times it can feel very competitive and stuff, and it's just always so nice when you have a mentor that has such a strong legacy turn around and then help out, the up and coming sports journalists and give you that encouragement. I will say Pomp is doing that for me right now, and I'm so thankful to learn from
Pomp's
him
the
right
best.
now.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just so wonderful, when they can turn around and do that for the up and comers. But guys, we'll head to break right now. Give us a call though, 412-575-2600. We have a lot to talk about, not just hockey. We also have, of course, spring training going on right now. The NFL Combine does start next week. So definitely give us a call. We want to hear from you guys and your thoughts on our 3 seasons that are now coming up, and we're in that process right now. So, yeah, we'll see you right after this. All right, welcome back. This is your GMC Sierra tweet of the night. As Jason and I were talking about a little bit ago, the Pens are going to be honoring Mike Lange tomorrow before puck drop against the Washington Capitals. So they are asking all fans who are going to the game to make sure you're seated by 3 o'clock so we can honor the late, great Mike Lange. I know he's impacted a lot of people in this city. So hopefully you guys can make it out there tomorrow ahead of that big rivalry game. It should be a good one. Now, of course, we have spring training going on right now in Florida. Shelton announced today who will be the starting pitcher. We don't know a lot. I mean, there's still a month till opening day, Jace, and still a lot of questions to be answered right now.
Yeah, and these first spring training games, Cassidy, I'm not looking for veterans to play a whole lot. And I know Sarasota is right next to Bradenton. This isn't like the Pirates going to Fort Myers or something like that. But I'm not expecting to see an A lineup tomorrow. I mean, I could be wrong, but this is early. There's a lot of these things. There's some things to watch for, certainly. Carmen Majinski is going to be starting. I'm looking more for some of the younger guys who could play a role on the Pirates. And I'm talking about Henry Davis, Endy Rodriguez, what Jared Triolo looks like, a Joshua Palacios, Leova Peguero. Those are the type of guys that I think are going to play in this one. Even Nick York, Billy Cook. You're going to see a lot of them. We don't need to worry about O'Neill Cruz, Brian Reynolds, Andrew McCutcheon. Like, this is not the time for them. They're going to be just fine. But, yeah, it's baseball. Yeah. It's baseball, and I look outside, and it's cold and snowy here. I would darn sure take 75 and sunny, and I'd watch the Z team players at this point as opposed to the cold weather.
Yeah, right. Down in Florida, getting you excited for spring. Obviously, I think in this offseason, some fans were pretty upset with the moves that happened. They were hoping more splash moves would happen from Nutting and from this front office. They weren't too excited about the pickups they've had in this offseason. Just as a fan who maybe isn't super excited about this upcoming season, who might tune in to watch tomorrow's game and watch, the rest of spring training, what are maybe some bullet points that you could give a fan that would get them a little more excited about Pirates season starting?
I wish I had a magic answer for you, Cassie.
I know that's a hard one.
I don't love their offseason either, and I'll be truthful with people. I'm not going to sit here and give them false hope. I'll say the same thing that I've said throughout the Pirates rebuild and everything that they've done to this point. It's not impossible to win in Major League Baseball on a budget. Look at the Guardians, look at the Rays. It's possible to do it if you make smart decisions. The Pirates have not made enough smart decisions. Will what they've done this offseason turn out to be a smart decision? I don't know. I like the signing of Andrew Heaney. I think he's going to help them, the left-handed pitcher they brought in, and maybe it sets them up for another move where they can add a bat. That would be great. I don't know what Spencer Horwitz is going to bring. If the Pirates not doing anything is because they think O'Neill Cruz, Jack Sawinski, Brian Reynolds, and all these guys, they're going to give them enough offensively. You know what? If they do, great. The Pirates are going to look really smart. And I think they should be commended for having a good, young starting rotation. But have they done enough to this point based on the information we have now? No, and I can't fake excitement over that.
Yeah, and you mentioned tomorrow, we're probably not going to see any of those big names play. Who's maybe one of the younger guys that does excite you out of those names that you mentioned earlier?
I've liked what I've read about Henry Davis. He is somebody that I think, if I look at the Pirates and look at where opportunity is, like where they haven't gotten something from somebody, but you have draft pedigree, somebody who's thought very highly of as a prospect, Henry Davis goes in that bucket for me. I think he can really add a lot with his bat, add a lot to the lineup. We saw how well he can hit last spring. If he can carry that over, and I have not been down to Bradenton, but I'm going on word from Noah Hiles, Andrew Destin, our Post-Gazette writers who are down there, and what people are saying about Henry Davis, but it certainly looks like a different mentality. He has all the ability in the world. It's just a matter of when he can put it together. I'll be looking to see if he can do that.
Yeah, hopefully he does. All right, guys, we do have a live poll right now going on. You can scan your phone on the QR code right there. Could the average person coach Green Bay to a better record than 3-25? Now, Jace, they lost tonight to Robert Morris, Doug Gottlieb, obviously the head coach over there. So we had a little fun with this one tonight because I just couldn't believe, 21 losses in a row. I don't even know what you say to your team after 10, let alone more than double that.
Yeah, and like why you keep doing it.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know, if you're making money and it's paying for your school or something like that, maybe, but that has to be one morose locker room. I don't know how you get through that. I guess that's a for love of the game kind of situation, but I don't think the average person could coach a team. I think the wheels would just come off and it would be a complete disaster, but I don't know how far the line is for needing a professional coach either. You could probably take a high school coach and they would at least give you some facsimile.
Yeah, maybe not, 3-25. But they did play Robert Morris tonight. Robert Morris, hey man, they're an exciting ball team to watch.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of going out there and talking to them this week, did a story with them, and Andrew Toole just has the guys buying in. And this is a team, by the way, that had a 20-loss season last year and a 20-win season this year. Brought in 6 transfers in the offseason, and it's really paying off for them, clearly.
Cassidy, they're like they're the opposite of what we have, right? Like, we've had such a lousy, depressing Pittsburgh sports scene. You have Robert Morris that does everything right. Yeah. They want to do the little things. They're coachable. They've gotten better. I find them very easy to root for. I like Andy Toole a lot. I think he does a great job there. They've gone through some rough seasons. I also kind of feel bad for them. Like, if you think back to 1920, I don't know if you talked about this in your story out there, but they were supposed to go to the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. The tournament's canceled because of COVID. They never got to do that. Mm-hmm. I feel bad for them not getting to act on that opportunity. Now they're in a new league, the Horizon League. They're really handling competition well. They're winning with defense. They're winning with a very palatable form of basketball. I hope they're able to do it. I'm rooting for them to go back to the NCAA tournament just for justice, just to get to experience what they should have experienced a couple years ago.
Yeah, and we're getting down to the wire now. They just have one more home game, regular season finale at home. Well, they have, I believe they have one more road game actually to end out the season, but they do have their final regular season home game Sunday at 2. If you guys want to get out there and see them in action before the conference tournament starts and postseason begins, because you guys, we're nearing March right now already, which is so crazy. Real quick before we toss it to break again, Jace, we got to mention the Pitt Panthers basketball a little bit. Just, not the season we thought it would be, to be honest. And hopefully they get a win at Notre Dame tomorrow, and that'll put them back at 500 in conference play. But other than that, they're just not winning the 50-50 balls right now. Their ball's not bouncing their way, whatever you want to say. And it's kind of unfortunate. Another Pitt team just not doing as well as maybe we thought in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they continue this. They've won 2 in a row and they've looked better. Yeah. Before that, they were 2-8 in a 10-game stretch. Yeah. Notre Dame stinks. That's going to be a little bit of a saving grace for the Panthers. I think they've lost 5 of 6. They just got their doors blown off by SMU. Pitt should have an opportunity. If they can go to Notre Dame and get a win here, develop and continue some momentum for the rest of the season. I think they've got NC State and Louisville remaining. You've seen some guys, Zach Austin being one of them, Ish Leggett as well, Jalen Lowe getting back from the concussion. If you can get these guys back consistent, performing the way they've done, they have the talent on this team. It's just unfortunate they haven't been able to put it together. And is it going to be enough to get them into the tournament? I think they probably have to win out and have a nice little run in the ACC tournament. Not saying it can't happen, but the hill is pretty steep at this point.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. All right, guys, we're going to head to break again. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. We want to hear from you guys. Welcome back. We're going to check in now with the news desk and see what they have coming up at 11. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Cassidy. Tonight, the former manager of a local water authority is heading to prison after pleading guilty to stealing more than $1 million. Plus, a Butler County community coming together to support a young girl battling a brain tumor, and Ray Petlin's tracking a warmer weekend. All ahead at 11. See you then.
Great. Thanks, Josh. All right, we do have someone calling in. We're going to hit the phone lines now. Josiah in San Antonio. Josiah, you want to talk some hockey?
Yeah. Hey, Cassidy. Hey, Jason. I got to sneak this one in because I got to sneak this question in because Rich isn't here. He doesn't let me talk about this team. But I got a question for you, particularly, Jason. You know, the Bruins, I don't understand them. I think they do need to press the rebuild, and I know Charlie McAvoy doesn't really he can't play because of the injury. I think they should start with him. They're stuck in the middle. Every time they play Florida, they're getting shellacked. They're stuck in the middle, and he's what Brad Marchand. He doesn't have it anymore. And I'm just tired of them being stuck in the middle. So, Jason, if you could put your general manager hat on for me, do you think that they need to rebuild? And if you do, how do you start by rebuilding this team? Appreciate it.
Chase, I'll let you take it.
Man. Is he talking about the Bruins?
I think he is. I think that's why he said Rich isn't, because I've heard him call in about the Bruins before, and Rich is like, so yeah, I think he's
that's probably why Rich doesn't want to take the call. Yeah, but hey, rebuild them. Go ahead. I don't care. Trade everyone. Fire everyone. This is where I can act like a fan. I don't care. Not my team. All
right, gearing back to Pittsburgh though, the NFL Combine does start next week. Omar Khan is expected to speak to the media for the first time following the end of the season on Tuesday. Jason, I guess, you know, putting your GM hat on in this situation, what do you think Omar Khan is going to say to the media down there on Tuesday?
Well, this is a lot more reasonable than that one, Cassidy. I can actually give a reason on this one.
Yeah.
But no, Omar Khan, I think, has a lot of questions to answer. I want to know what's his plan for wide receiver? How much is he weighting that? Where are we at on quarterback discussions? Have you talked to Justin Fields? Have you talked to Russell Wilson? Has one been eliminated? Do you expect one of those two to be your quarterback? What do you think about defensive line depth in the draft? How are you going to go about retooling at running back? Is Najee Harris in the picture for you? Are you looking at free agency there? Do you think that's something best addressed through the draft? I mean, I don't know if we're going to get answers to all of that, but those are some things that I'd like to know.
Yeah, I think all of us would. I mean, again, today, all over ESPN, are Russ and Justin staying in Pittsburgh? It's the question everybody wants to know the answer to. Hopefully we can find out on Tuesday, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on your Friday night. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I will be back here tomorrow night, so tune back in. Jason, thank you so much for hanging with us tonight. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.